They say life is a collection of moments, stitched together with emotions. Some moments feel heavy, some are fleeting, and some stay with us forever. But among all these experiences, there is one thing that rises above the rest, one feeling that has the power to transform despair into hope, pain into strength, and silence into song. And that, my friends, is the most beautiful feeling in the world. The most beautiful feeling is not about material possessions, nor is it about applause or validation. It is not found in what we own, but in what we give. It is not hidden in what the world sees, but in what our hearts feel. The most beautiful feeling is when you embrace who you are with all your scars, all your imperfections, and still choose to smile. It is the moment when you realize that you are enough, that you do not need to chase the acceptance of others, because your worth was never meant to be weighed by someone else's eyes. That feeling of being at peace with yourself is more liberating than any treasure on earth. The most beautiful feeling is when you rise after being broken, when the world writes you off as fragile, but you come back stronger, when people pity you, but you turn that pity into power. There is nothing more beautiful than standing tall with the pieces of your brokenness and still shining brighter than ever. It is also the feeling of connection, when you hold someone's hand and realize you are not walking this journey alone. When you share a smile with a stranger and it softens the hardest of days. When your pain becomes someone else's hope and your story becomes someone else's survival guide. That too is beauty. And above all, the most beautiful feeling in the world is gratitude. Gratitude for life, even when it doesn't go as planned. Gratitude for challenges, because they teach us resilience. Gratitude for the little things, the warmth of sunlight, the laughter of loved ones, the chance to breathe another day. Gratitude turns what we have into enough, and enough into abundance. So if you ask me, the most beautiful feeling in the world is not one single emotion. It is the harmony of self-acceptance, resilience, love, connection, and gratitude. It is waking up every morning and saying, I am alive, I am worthy, and I am ready. That feeling, unshakable, unstoppable, unapologetic, that is the most beautiful feeling in the world. The most beautiful feeling is embracing yourself with all your scars and still choosing to smile. The most beautiful feeling is embracing yourself with all your scars and still choosing to smile. Life often teaches us that perfection is a myth, that flawless skin, flawless lives, or flawless journeys are illusions we chase but never reach. The truth is, it is not the absence of scars that makes a person beautiful. It is the presence of courage to wear those scars without shame. When you look at yourself in the mirror and instead of hiding your wounds, you whisper to yourself, this is me and this is enough. You discover a strength that no compliment can ever give you. Scars are not symbols of weakness. They are reminders of battles you have fought, of storms you have survived, of nights you thought you would never get through, but still managed to see the sunrise. Smiling through scars is not pretending that pain never existed. It is the art of choosing joy despite knowing what it feels like to be broken. It is understanding that the cracks in your life are not ugly. They are the very places where the light enters. That smile, born not out of ignorance but out of resilience, becomes more powerful than 1,000 victories. People may wonder how you manage to keep smiling when life has given you reasons to give up, but they will never know the beauty of finding peace within yourself. That smile is not for the world, it is for you. It is proof that you have accepted your journey in its entirety. The scars, the struggles, the lessons, the heartbreaks, all of them come together to form a story that is uniquely yours. And when you embrace that story fully, you do not just smile. You radiate a light that no darkness can ever overshadow. True beauty is rising stronger from the very moments that tried to break you. True beauty is rising stronger from the very moments that tried to break you. There are times in life when everything feels shattered, when the weight of trials seems too heavy to carry, and when you are convinced that you may never be able to stand again. In those moments, the heart breaks, the spirit weakens, and hope feels distant. Yet it is within those very moments that the seeds of strength are quietly planted. Rising again after falling is not about erasing the pain or pretending the struggle never existed. It is about allowing that pain to mold you into someone wiser, braver, and unshakable. The beauty of resilience is not in the absence of wounds, but in the way you transform those wounds into wisdom. Every fall teaches you something, every disappointment strengthens your endurance, and every hardship shapes your character. When life attempts to break you, it secretly gives you the chance to rise with a power you never knew you had. Standing tall after falling is not about showing the world how strong you are. It is about proving to yourself that no storm can truly define you. The cracks in your journey are not signs of defeat. They are reminders that you have survived. Rising stronger means using the lessons of pain to build a foundation for hope, a hope that cannot be shaken because it has been tested in the fire of adversity. And when you rise, you realize that the very moments that tried to bury you were the same moments that taught you how to bloom. There is beauty in the comeback, beauty in the strength that comes after the struggle, beauty in knowing that no matter how hard life tries to break you, you still carry within you an unbreakable spirit through connection with others. Through kindness, love, and shared humanity creates the deepest joy. Connection with others, through kindness, love, and shared humanity, creates the deepest joy. Life was never meant to be lived in isolation. It is in the threads we weave with people around us that we find meaning. A kind word at the right moment can heal a wound invisible to the eye. A gentle smile can lift a burden someone thought they carried alone, and a simple act of compassion can remind a broken heart that it still matters. When we connect with others, we realize that our struggles are not unique, that behind every smile lies a story, behind every face lies a battle, and behind every silence lies a longing to be understood. The beauty of connection is that it bridges differences, it dissolves walls, and it creates a sense of belonging in a world where loneliness often screams louder than love. To reach out and hold someone's hand, to sit beside them in their pain without judgment, to celebrate their small victories as if they were your own. These are the moments that shape the truest bonds. Deep joy is not found in grand achievements or possessions. It is found in the warmth of shared laughter, in the comfort of knowing someone cares, and in the realization that you are never truly walking alone. Humanity thrives on togetherness, and the heart blossoms when it feels understood and accepted. Every connection is a reminder that we are part of something larger than ourselves, that our lives are intertwined in ways we often fail to see. The deepest joy is not in being admired, but in being connected, in knowing that your presence can lighten someone else's darkness, and that their presence can brighten yours. Connection turns strangers into companions, pain into purpose, and ordinary moments into lifelong memories, for gratitude transforms ordinary moments into extraordinary blessings. Gratitude transforms ordinary moments into extraordinary blessings. It is easy to wait for big milestones to celebrate life, but true joy lies in appreciating the little details that often go unnoticed. The warmth of the morning sun, the sound of laughter echoing in a room, the comfort of having food on the table, or even the ability to breathe freely, these are blessings that many forget to count. Gratitude is not about denying hardships, it is about shifting focus from what is missing to what is already present. When you begin to practice it, you realize that even in the darkest nights, there are stars shining quietly, reminding you that light always exists. A grateful heart does not take life for granted. It finds beauty even in imperfections and meaning even in struggles. Gratitude softens anger, heals bitterness, and turns envy into contentment. It changes the lens through which you see the world, helping you understand that every challenge comes with a lesson, and every setback carries within it the seed of growth. When you learn to thank life not just for what you wanted, but also for what you did not expect, you begin to see how every twist of fate has shaped you into who you are today. Gratitude creates resilience because it gives you strength to endure difficulties while keeping hope alive. It builds compassion because it reminds you of the value of kindness when you reflect on all the kindness you have received. It sparks joy because it allows you to live in the present moment rather than waiting for happiness to arrive someday in the future. Gratitude does not make life perfect, but it makes life profoundly rich. It transforms a house into a home, a stranger into a friend, a simple day into a celebration, and an ordinary breath into a reminder that you are alive. And blessed 5, the most beautiful feeling is knowing you are enough, without needing validation from anyone. The most beautiful feeling is knowing you are enough, without needing validation from anyone. From a young age, many are taught to measure worth through achievements, appearances, or approval from others. Society often convinces us that we must constantly strive to prove ourselves, to fit into expectations, and to be defined by standards that were never our own. But true freedom begins when you realize that your value is not dependent on applause or opinions, that your existence itself is reason enough to stand tall. To know you are enough is to silence the inner voice that compares, doubts, and criticizes, and instead embrace the truth that your worth was never up for negotiation. It is to look at yourself with kindness and acknowledge that even in your flaws you are whole. Validation may feel good for a moment, but it fades, leaving you searching for the next source of approval. When you no longer rely on it, you step into a place of self-respect, where your happiness does not crumble with criticism nor inflate with praise. Being enough is not about perfection, it is about authenticity. It is about accepting your journey, your pace, and your story without apology. The most beautiful feeling comes when you wake up and no longer feel the need to prove your value, when you walk into a room and do not shrink to make others comfortable, when you choose peace over pressure and love over self-doubt. To know you are enough is to find joy in your own company, to celebrate small victories without seeking recognition, and to recognize that even on your hardest days, your existence adds meaning to the world. It is the kind of power that no one can give you and no one can take away, because it comes from within.